Is affordable housing in Toronto really just a myth? Rate hikes, they were supposed to crash house prices and allow millennials and Gen Z to re-enter the market. So while house prices did come down at least a little bit, high rates, they made mortgage payments completely unaffordable. So unless if you were buying a house in cash, you saw little to no relief. Now with rate cuts on the horizon, promising to make things a little bit more affordable, what do you think is going to happen to house prices in the long term? So this has me wondering, can young families actually find an affordable home in this city without breaking the bank? Stick around because the answer might actually surprise you. So how did things get so bad? Let's investigate the reality of Toronto real estate. Toronto's real estate market is one of the most expensive real estate markets in Canada, if not North America. High demand, limited supply, and high costs of living make things really difficult for most young families to survive in this massive growing city. So to get a good understanding on where things are, National Bank actually did a pretty good study on housing affordability in Canada, but they actually had some really good stats on specifically the city of Toronto. So you can see them right here on the screen. Let's take a look at some of the highlights, or some people may think they're lowlights. So let's first look at the price of a home in Toronto according to their numbers. So a representative home, so a standard house in the city of Toronto, you were looking at about just over $1.2 million for the average house in Toronto. When we look at condos averaging just over $700,000, again, in Toronto. So what does that mean for mortgage payments and what are people doling out? So we look at it as a percentage of income. For the average house in Toronto, people are spending about 84.4% of their take-home income on a house in Toronto. So 84% of their take-home pay is going straight to mortgage costs. And then when we look at condos, they're a little better, but still 50% of people's incomes are going towards paying the mortgage on their condo. So to get an understanding of who would be able to buy these houses and condos, when we look at the household income needed to afford a home in the city of Toronto, you would need a household income of $248,000 to buy the average house in the city of Toronto, so around $1.2 million. When we look at condos, you need an income of just over $170,000 to buy the average condo in the city. So house prices are one thing, mortgage payments are something else. We all know to be able to get a mortgage, you also need a down payment. So when we look at just the amount of time that you need to save to gather up your down payment funds for a house, we are looking at a whopping 296 months on average to save up enough money for a down payment on a house. So for most millennials out there or Gen Z looking for a home, you may not be able to buy a home until you're in your 50s or 60s. When we look at condos, it's a little bit more palatable at about 57 months to be able to save up for the average condo. So that is largely due to the price of condos, and also because the average is under $1 million, you don't have to quite get to that 20% threshold to be able to buy the average condo. So that brings it down to 57 months. So 4 to 5 years, you're able to save up enough down payment to buy a condo. And the last metric that really stood out for me was the premium of owning a house or a condo over renting a house and a condo. So when we look at the numbers right here, there was a 37% premium for owning a house over renting a house. And when we looked at condos, there was a 40% or just over 40% premium to buy a condo versus rent a condo. So clearly these are tough numbers to be able to digest. If you're interested in taking your own read through the report, I put the link in the description below. Take a look through and let us know in the comments. So now that we understand where we're at right now in terms of housing affordability in the city of Toronto, the Bank of Montreal actually put out an interesting report that explains why they don't believe that, at least in the short term, we're going to see much relief on the affordability file when it comes to housing. They say affordability might not return until maybe 2027, and then it'll only be maybe slightly more affordable than where we're at today. And why is this? Well, we're not going to see massive rate cuts back to what we saw pre or during the pandemic. Those days of sub 3% rates, that ship has likely sailed. And then it goes on to say that there's a lack of creative solutions from different levels of government. That, coupled with a lot of the high demand, it's keeping prices high. So it's this bit of a toxic mix, and that's why, while there might be a little bit of relief on the horizon, it's really not enough to really make housing, at least the purchase of housing, affordable in the short term, and even in the long term doesn't look like it's going to get super affordable overnight. So I mean, my take on this is, I think our society and the way Canada has been constructed, I think for too long, prior generations, especially the boomers, have become over-reliant on their houses as either a source of income or as a nest egg for retirement. And I think governments and the banks and the institutions understand this, and there's a lot of hesitancy to completely tank the housing market, because you'd effectively be erasing people's retirement savings accounts. My second takeaway from this is, when we look at a big city like Toronto, there are several, a buzzword that you hear quite a bit in housing circles are NIMBY policy, so not in my backyard policy, that is dictating what can be built and where. Developers for the past couple of decades haven't really been building new condos, new homes for end users. They've been building product for investors. Investors were the largest cohort of buyers of new homes in the GTA in Toronto. So they were building for the demand. Now, with that said, I've also anecdotally talked to a lot of smaller builders, smaller developers who would have loved to have built end user type condos in established neighborhoods. We are talking about triplexes, fourplexes, small 3 to 6 story buildings on avenues. But the problem is, when any developer tries to build this type of product, they are shot down by the community. Most of the people in these established neighborhoods in the city of Toronto don't want anything but single family homes built in their neighborhoods. So, I mean, you can look on MLS and you'll see, as of right now, I think on the Toronto MLS, there's 13,000 condos listed for sale on the Toronto MLS systems. And you could say, well, we clearly have enough supply, but when you actually look through the numbers, most of that supply are studios, 1 bedrooms, or tiny little 1+ den or 2 bedroom units that aren't really conducive to, let's say, a family living in one of these places. So what we end up with is hyper density in certain pockets of the city of Toronto. You think City Place, Liberty Village, Yonge and Sheppard, pretty much all up and down Yonge Street. So we have all these massive towers with hundreds of units, but not everyone wants to live in a hyper dense area of the city. We have so much space in the city of Toronto designated as the yellow belt, where you can really build nothing but single family houses. We need to unlock that to be able to build more end user style homes in established neighborhoods. But this video isn't all doom and gloom. There's a couple of beacons of light in the city where there's actually some affordable housing and affordable places where you don't have to have incomes of $250,000 or $180,000 to be able to afford a home. There's pockets of the city where, yes, the average might be well over 1.2 million for the average house. There are pockets of the city where you can buy an average house for $700,000 to $900,000. So I like to call these neighborhoods hidden gem neighborhoods. Neighborhoods that kind of fly under the radar, which is the name of our channel. So if we look at the history of Toronto, these neighborhoods have always existed. So when we look back to, let's say, the 70s and 80s, when a lot of our parents' generation, the boomers, were buying real estate, they were buying into some of those hidden gem neighborhoods, which were hidden gems at the time, kind of under the radar. So you think of neighborhoods like the Annex, or you think of Riverdale. Off the top of my head, you think of Lower West Village. So some of these areas that weren't necessarily super well established, we had the boomers buying homes in there and establishing their roots. And today, these neighborhoods are thriving, vibrant, generally higher income neighborhoods. Where are these neighborhoods for millennials and Gen Z? You've come to the right place, because there is a certain pocket of the city in the northwest of Toronto in the historical neighborhood of York. So we're talking Eglinton West, St. Clair West, and Weston. So let me really quickly pull up some of these listings on the screen and we can scroll through them together. So as you can see right now, there are 78 listings currently on the market in York. And as you can see, we have pricing starting at, $500,000 for vacant lots. When we look at a real house in the city of York, the first listing I pick up here, $635,000. So we are starting at $635,000, and this house had just went through a price decrease. So we are in a good spot when it comes to affordable housing in the city of Toronto. So starting at $600,000, which is below the price of your average condo in the city of Toronto. And I just scroll through this list. I am looking at the neighborhoods and the street names, and there's a ton of great homes that you can buy today. And this is June 21st, 2024, in the city of Toronto, sub $1 million. We are talking things, I'm gonna click on this listing right here. This is just really random. But again, listing right here, a 4-bedroom, 2-bathroom home in a good location. You are close to tons of amenities and transit. Scroll through some of the photos. This looks like a move-in ready home. You can pack your stuff, move in there, and live a very nice life right now. It even looks like it's a home that has some potential that you could probably divide it and create an additional suite in this home if you wanted to as well. But anyway, sub $1 million in the city of Toronto, home again that you could buy right now. So 78 listings in the city of Toronto, sub $1 million, where you now don't have to get to that 20% threshold for a down payment. And it also makes it a little bit easier. You can get, you have access to CMHC financing, where you don't have to get to that 20%, and you can get mortgage insurance on your mortgage to make things a little bit easier, a little bit more affordable to be able to buy a house in the city of Toronto. Now, if you're interested in finding out a little bit more of the nitty-gritty on these neighborhoods, if you scroll to the Under the Radar neighborhood tours on our channel, you can actually find a lot of the neighborhood tours that I have completed over the last year to give you a little bit of the lowdown on some of these neighborhoods that make up the old neighborhood of York. So we are talking neighborhoods like Fairbank, Earls Court, Weston, Mount Dennis, Oakwood Village. These are all on the channel. Take a look through the videos, see which neighborhood you like, and feel free to reach out if you're interested in looking at any of these under the radar listings that we can take you through. So hit us up. There's a Calendly link below if you want to book a call, or send us an email, josh@realestateundertheradar.com. Be more than happy to arrange a call or have a quick chat and let's talk real estate and where you can find hidden gems in the city of Toronto. Now, to the people interested in looking for a condo in some of these under the radar neighborhoods, I haven't forgot about you either. And I've actually pulled up, so when we talked about the numbers at the start of this video for the average condo, which was about $700,000 in the city of Toronto. Now, most of you could probably deduce pretty quickly, but the average condo, most condos in the city of Toronto that have sold are around 1-bedroom, 1+den. So you could be thinking, well, I have a family, or I want something larger than just a 500 to 700 square foot space. Well, I just pulled up a list of what's available in the old neighborhood of York here in the city of Toronto. So again, Eglinton West, Weston, St. Clair West, and I ran a search from $1 to $750,000, but just 2 bedrooms and larger. And that returned 94 listings available right now. So we are not talking about little studios and 1 bedroom. We're talking about 2 bedrooms or larger. So let's take a look at this list right now. So you can see it right behind me. Let me click on, actually I love this building right here, 1 Hickory Tree Road. I've had clients buy, I've sold in that building as well. I actually love this building, located in Weston. It is right near the Up Express station. You back onto a massive park where you could, not only you can do the normal things you do in a park, like play basketball, there's a huge hockey rink, there's massive soccer fields, there's a huge outdoor pool, skateboard park, tennis courts, you have everything in this park. It also has the Humber River that goes through it. So you can actually even go fishing, or if you actually go just a little bit further north, there's a golf course. You can go golfing 10 minutes from your front door in this building. I'm selling this building, I don't even have a listing there right now, but I just love this building so much. So I mean, I'm scrolling through the photos right now. Older building, so built about 40 years ago. But I mean, you're getting massive suites. So this one's listed $600,000 and it's over 1,000 square feet. And your commute into downtown from this condo is about 25 minutes. So for under $600,000, your 25 commute into downtown. This suite looks like it was renovated quite well. And the amenities in the building are great. The building itself has amazing amenities. It has a pool, sauna, kind of a whole list of amenities. Great, yeah. I mean, I'm looking at this right now. Like, I would live here. I also live in an undergrader neighborhood myself. So I just love this condo, love this building. So amazing option right there. If we go back to the list again, so again, 94 listings, not just a handful, 94 listings that I would consider affordable versus the overall market. So you could see a whole bunch here. Let me try to find something else. I mean, let's maybe look for, let's say, a townhouse. Let's see here. Yeah, here, let's pull up a townhouse. Right on Rogers Road. This is well located right near Weston. I know exactly where these ones are. $660,000 for a 900 plus square foot townhouse, again, in the city, close to transit, close to the 401 if you're a car commuter, close to the airport. I mean, the other thing about York is that if any of you need to commute via airplane and you need to be at Pearson, all of these neighborhoods are, even in bad traffic, maximum 30 to 35 minutes to Pearson. And most of these places are close to Up Express stations, so you can just take the Up Express if traffic is bad. So again, great value up in this pocket of the city, and I really think that this is the next hidden gem neighborhood. I'm actually planning on doing a video really comparing and contrasting this neighborhood with Brooklyn, because when I talk to my clients and when I talk to people who aren't familiar with the neighborhood, but they've been to Brooklyn, I explain that this is a version of Brooklyn in Toronto. This is going to be the place that everyone wants to live and move to. Yeah, just great listing. Oh, here's another one right here. I love this project, right off Keele Street. And again, $720,000 for a townhouse. What is it? I mean, it's about 800 square feet, great location, parks. Yeah, I mean, I can't tell you enough about this neighborhood and the inventory and what's available there. So if you have any questions about the condos we just looked at, or the houses or any of these neighborhoods, don't be afraid to reach out. Again, my email, josh@realestateundertheradar.com, or hit up the Calendly link down below if you want to book a call and talk one-on-one. Be more than happy to talk about these neighborhoods, both houses and condos, and how we could probably fit you in with your budget into this neighborhood, and you can live in the city of Toronto. You don't have to move an hour to 2 hours outside of the city to find something within your budget, especially if you're a young family trying to stay in the city. A lot of these neighborhoods, what you don't realize is that this area of the city is full of parks and family amenities. I have 2 boys, I live up in this pocket, and there are tons of activities they do. I mean, I live in a loft building. Our building backs right onto a park with a basketball court and a splash pad. I mean, my boys are a little old for the splash pad now. It also has the Beltline trail so they can jump on their bikes and ride their bikes up and down the trail, not have to be mixed in with traffic, because that's absolutely terrifying as a parent. So you have absolutely everything, great restaurants, schools, you name it, it's up here. Don't be afraid to reach out. So to answer the question that I posed at the beginning of this video, I actually say affordable housing in Toronto isn't a myth. You just really need to know where to look. There's some great hidden gem neighborhoods that perhaps go overlooked and that fly under the radar where your budget can work. So while the city of Toronto is expensive, I'm not here saying that a $750,000 house is cheap. It's not cheap, but it's also not 1.2, 1.3 million. So there's a massive chasm between the average price in some of these hidden gem under the radar neighborhoods and the overall average of the city of Toronto. So if you have an open mind and you're willing to look in some of these hidden gem or under the radar neighborhoods, you'll be quite surprised in what you can find, and perhaps you'll see what I see and you can say that Toronto maybe isn't all that unaffordable, and if you can be a little flexible, you can actually find that Toronto is a fairly affordable place to live and raise your family. So if you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up. That means like, give it a subscribe, share it with your friends and family, share it with someone you know who's having a tough time finding an affordable spot in Toronto. Certainly share it with them. And that about wraps it up for this video. Thanks for watching. If you have anything you want to add, if you have any topics that you'd like us to cover, if you want us to do any more deep dives into any of these hidden gem neighborhoods, drop it in the comments below and we'll try to respond to as many comments as we can. Or even if you have any suggestions for videos, we can even make some of these videos. Just pop it down in the comments. We love the engagement. We love everyone who watches these videos diligently. There's a couple dozen of you who do, and thank you so much. So that's it for today's video. As always, the best things in life are where you least expect them. So keep an open mind, stay positive, stay knowledgeable. Peace out.